Yeah, buddy. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And ladies and gentlemen, I know you know what day it is. It's Wednesday, baby. Happy Hump Day! And I'm here with my guy, the smoothest guy, the coolest guy from South Carolina, Will Kramer. What up, Will?
Hey, man. How you doing?
Always good, man. Always good, man. Every day that I'm breathing, man. Come on with it.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. And I'm especially good because we know what day it is. Christmas for some of us.
It's Christmas in July.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, this is Washington Football Weekly. Your home for news and notes, updates on everything that is the Washington Commanders. It's getting there. We're getting there.
I'm getting there. It's better than football team, so I'm getting there.
Absolutely. You know, and hey, winning cures all. So as long as we get that W, you know, we're good to go. He's like, no, I sent my comment through Sean's first.
Loyal listeners right there.
See, I love it. Shout out to Anthony Handy, the Swintons, man, doing big things. We got so much to show you, and we definitely want you to stick around because there's so much that's going on today. But look, in the beginning of the show, what we always do, shout out our birthdays. And I got two birthdays that are very close to me, near and dear to my heart. First and foremost, my cousin, gotta shout her out, Ashley Wilson. I honestly, Will, I could just remember this girl, me babysitting her when she's got, you know, the little ponytails in her hair and just kind of running around, Uncle Sean in it, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, and you've seen her grow and into a woman, and then I'm going on her Facebook and saying happy birthday, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you are an adult woman. You know, it's just crazy, man. Lets you know how old you've gotten. I know kids do that on a daily basis. It's like, oh,
wait, you're like, how old now?
Right. So happy birthday to Ashley, doing amazing things. College graduate. Your little brother, Steven, that I used to babysit, is now logging hours to be a pilot. Oh my goodness gracious. You know what I mean? Look, I was just getting a hold of y'all driving. Now all of a sudden we talking about pilot.
I know.
Here we go.
He's getting into a good field. That is a in-demand position right there.
Absolutely. What's up, Katie? Said hello Sean
Kate.
and Will. How are you?
Oh, yeah. I want to know from Kate. She can respond to that. What are you feeling about your Con Air quarterback there? Showing up as Nicolas Cage on the first day. Like, what? It's a good thing Rodgers is a damn good quarterback because he's gone total weirdo.
He's a nut. Yeah, he's out there for sure. Absolutely. And real quick, one more birthday. Got to shout out, dear friend of mine, a friend of the show, friend of ours, Jen Allen. Her birthday was yesterday. Absolutely. I love it. I always forget. It's like 26th or 27th, and I always get it wrong. I want to say happy birthday to you. Last year, to loyal listeners, last year, if you remember, I sang to her. I'm not going to do that today. The boys ain't with it. But I'm going to say happy birthday to you. You know I love you. Her son, Jaden, who we actually had on the show. Let me see if I have it with me real quick. Yep. Yeah, buddy.
So we need to put him in touch with Jason Wright at Washington.
Oh, yeah.
And we need to get some of that playing at FedEx.
Right? Exactly.
Like, come on, did that not get you fired up?
Right. That had me hyped. And he was like, oh, this is a little something I was doing. I was like, no, I need to keep going. Like, you need your own little show.
Yeah.
So the reason I brought him up, he is actually starting to play football over at Dominion High School.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm gonna start talking to him, try to work it out. start practicing, getting back in my days. We might need to, hit the sleds. You know what I mean? Get the pass. So we will see, but I'm excited to see the next generation again. The reason makes me, hey, look, I remember when he was a baby, and now he's playing football. So we're getting old.
Yeah.
We're getting up there. But look, we're not going to talk about that. We got so much going on. We need to go ahead and bring in. We're going to bring in our guy because it's a special time of year, ladies and gentlemen. Will talked about being Christmas in July. And it absolutely is, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know what time of the year it is, check this out. It's training camp, ladies and gentlemen, and we got our guy in here, and always member of the Washington Football Weekly crew, Mr. Ab Lowe. What up, Ab?
What's up, baby?
Look at that.
Oh, I like that.
What's good,
baby? Oh, that's that 1-7. Oh, yeah. I like that.
It just came today, man.
Perfect timing. Perfect.
Yes.
Good, smelling new, baby.
Smelling like a cardboard box right here.
Love it. Oh, okay, Sid, hold up. You said, "Dag, the 2022 NFC East champs are looking good."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to flex on them too.
Come on with it. Come on with it. Let's go.
You wanted to flex on them too.
Let's go. Yo, hey, Anthony said, "Not the shirtless wonder."
What
yep.
up,
The
Anthony,
not
man?
shirtless wonder.
Yo,
it's a big day.
It is. Yo, really quickly, definitely want to let you know, Ab, Anthony Handy is going to be in town August 18th, and he's going to be there for a couple days, man. He was saying, yo, we all need to link up. So I know he's going to be doing some karaoke stuff. So.
Hey, that sounds good, man. If I'm up and running, then I'm definitely down, man.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
You trying to flex on them too, baby girl?
Oh, come on with it.
Okay, come on, baby. Come on. Flex on
with it,
baby.
Flex on
the time.
Yes.
Go like this, baby. Go like this.
Do that.
Go like this. Oh!
Yeah. Let's go. Start them young. And a child shall lead them. I love that. Let's go. Hey, look. Hey, Papa Bear. Anton, you back in the show. What's your initial thoughts? We're back. We're finally back. We're ready to go. What is your thoughts? Training camp is here. Where are you at? Where you at with that?
On me first?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm excited, man. I got my optimism until that first snap of the game, and then I'm like, oh, what did
here we go again?
You know how I do, but I'm still happy. I'm still new. I'm still happy. Like, honestly, it's football. We're starting it off. We're starting great, and I'm just excited now, boy. Woo!
Yeah.
Woo! It's like the year finally just started or something like that. Yep. Like, man, I'm excited, baby.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like a reset. All right, everything from last year is now officially done. This is the new year, and you know what I loved, Will, man? There were some faces that I really needed to see today. One, Mr. Terry McLaurin, and he was ready to go, and he was there. What were your thoughts?
Oh, it was great. It was great. And part of me, it's like, we talked about this right before the show started. Like, we didn't like the name change, but it's here. We're not a football team anymore. We're the Commanders. It's here. We got, the helmets look pretty sick. We got some, new jerseys out there. It's like, we're official. The rebrand has happened, and it's like you said, a total reset. And you're starting to see some of those guys show up. And we weren't sure all off season. We had to talk about the Terry contract. Mm-hmm. It's over. He's here. He's practicing. He's catching passes already. It's exciting. So I love it. It's the start of a new year. And this is the best time. This is the second best time of the year to be a Washington fan. First time is usually off season, but now that's changed. But this is the best time because we're thinking, hey, we got a chance this year. we got a real
chance.
chance.
Right. Like I said, it's reset expectations. Now we're kind of like, okay, oh, this guy can do this thing, and look at how are they going to stop all these wide receivers? How are they going to stop these running backs? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we look great against the pads and the dummies and the and nothing on. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But look, we've seen it, and it's only one day in, but there's a lot of guys out there that we've been looking at. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to do our 53-man roster. So we've been diving into this roster, and through OTAs and up until this point, we've been kind of looking at a couple guys in particular. Will, I'm going to come to you first. Which is there a specific player you're looking or you're watching for, or simply a couple players or a position group? Like what are you looking at right now?
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope I don't steal this from somebody else. I'm so excited about this tight end room. I have no idea who's going to be behind John Bates, and I think that's really, really exciting. And we've got a bunch of raw guys that I'm just curious to see who can put that together. We got some real physical athletes out there, and John Bates, Cole Turner, I'm real excited about. And is there anyone else behind him, who's able to show up? We've got, it's year 2 of Sammy Reyes. So I'm excited. Does he show something that we don't know? You've got AGG has moved over. So, he's that physical specimen. He's that wide receiver route runner. Can he also help out in the blocking game? I have no idea. And then there's that name Curtis Hodges that we talked about at during some mini camps, really, really impressing people. Arizona so I'm State. Curious to see, could that be a 4th tight end? So that's the one, usually skill positions is what I get excited for. Maybe that's in training camp where you can see guys show out. It's hard to evaluate the offensive line in training camp. But so I'm excited to see that. The other one I'm watching to see now on defense is, can Khaleke Hudson step up? Is he going to be a impact, reliable, rotational player? He's in his 3rd year. He's been a special teams guy. He was drafted as a special teams guy, but this smaller, able to run. We lost our guy, Landon Collins. We lost a big player on defense last year. I don't think we're trying to do 3 linebackers a whole lot, but can he be a part of that mix? Because I will get to it, but that linebacking room's looking awfully thin right now. So those are the 2 guys. So I'm looking at tight ends and mostly Cole Turner. I'm excited for him, and then Khaleke Hudson.
Oh yeah, I like that. Ab, what are you looking at, man? What position group or player or both? What are you looking at, man?
I hate to do it like this, guys, but Will, you keep stealing my stuff, man. I don't know why you keep doing that, bro. It's like we on the same wavelength.
Great minds think alike.
There it is.
I was going to say tight ends, guys. I think that's the most intriguing one. I was reading, because honestly, I was an Antonio Gandy Golden fan, man. I was really wanted him to work out. He was tall, big, and everything like that. And he was and I was really excited for him. But honestly, if this is the way for him to get on the field, then go do it, young man. Cole Turner, they drafted him. So, of course, that's almost a guaranteed spot right there. Mm-hmm. And Sammy Reyes, that, again, another guy. Baby, hold on, okay. Another guy that is I really he sat out all last year. We had him on the active roster. Inactive roster, just so no one else would go and jack him from our practice squad. So he has to show out. I don't think we can do that again with all the people. We got some potential on this team, guys. So we're really going to be hiding guys on the inactive roster. You can not trust me on that. I do see that happening, guys.
Oh, yeah.
So if he's not doing anything in the lock, and especially in his position field, he might find his way out, because there's some inactive people that there's one that I have an eye on. So and I think might take his spot, guys. So you'll see later on in the show.
All right, little sneak peek.
I like that. I obviously, for me, I think the big one, the most glaring one, is Carson Wentz, but more so Carson Wentz with the chemistry with him and the receivers. First off, with him and Terry McLaurin, I need that to be good. I've heard Terry and seen interviews with him that he says that he's a nice guy. They're kind of into each other. They they're on the same page, but I need to see it consistently. And then with that will then start to express off to all the other little wide receivers and all the other situations that we're going to be working with. So that's something I want to see, that chemistry and that start up. But another thing I want to look at is that defense. With Chase Young out, obviously, we know some of the guys that are going to be there at the end with Shaka Toney and James Smith-Williams. But there's another guy out of Michigan State. It's not for Cat. This is just for me. I love this guy, Jacob Panizek. He is a solid defensive end. And
what?
The defense of Michigan State, out of Michigan State.
No idea.
You
Never
really?
heard of him.
He's on the 90?
Great. Yes.
What?
Yes.
You just taught me something, Sean. I have no idea who you're
Jacob,
talking about right
Jacub, Panasiuk.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
I
You
believe
heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. And if I'm wrong, well, there it is.
You
I
hear
was
from
wrong
me.
last year. It happened. It happens, ladies and gentlemen. But
Fact checking right now.
Right.
Google right now. What are you doing?
But as far as position group though, it's definitely the secondary. The secondary, I think, is going to be something that we're going to need. We talked about Benjamin St. Juste. We talked about McCain and Cam Curl and a lot of these guys. We really are going to need that to be a safety blanket until we get maybe a little depth or some help in that linebacker position, or until Chase Young and that defensive line gets really back to full form. So secondary is somewhere that I'm definitely looking at coming into training camp.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you find him?
Yeah, we're fact checking this guy here. Is this someone you made
love
on?
you,
Michigan?
bro.
No, are y'all kidding me right now? Michigan
He's not
State.
even on my spreadsheet, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Goodness gracious. You know what? Oh my goodness.
That's good because my D tackle roster here is so thin, the thinnest it's ever been in my life. So maybe it's good. Maybe it's good. I can swap out our favorite player, Mr. Troy Akpe, for what is his name?
They just re-signed him.
Panachek, whatever his name is.
Say it again, Sean. Say his last name.
Panasiuk. Panasiuk is like the defensive end.
You say that name like it's just like it's Smith.
Like he's
I watch him. That's why I'm saying, yo, we moving on. Yo, get So, and it's going to be interesting to see, especially my guy, which we're going to find one day. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys come in. Did you guys watch any of today's the first day? Like, Will, what did you think of? I mean, I saw some of the passes, I saw some of the drills and whatnot, but what did you think of things you saw?
I'll be honest. I only got to saw a couple clips on Twitter just before coming on here, so I didn't get to see a whole lot. The only thing I saw is what we've said before: is those helmets look dope out there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
They're still the old like practice uniforms, but the helmets they pop. So I didn't get to see much of the practice. Did you get to see? Did you look?
I watched a little bit. They had like a little live stream on there, but again, it was still just a camera from very far away, and they just showed a couple drills and things like that. So I mean, obviously, that's not more than OTAs. Yeah, they look sharp. Wentz was looking, sharp, throwing it to all these different guys or whatever. But it was nothing really like 7-on-7 or like full things together. So for a first day, it was just good to see Gibson there, Carson Wentz there, Sam Howell there. Yeah, buddy. But Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel. I'll tell
you this, Sean. I'm gonna put this on record. If you win the Fantasy Football League this year, I will buy you a Sam Howell jersey.
Let's get it. Oh yeah. It's gonna be a hot commodity soon.
Yeah.
Watch.
Would love him.
So what happens when I win?
I gotta think about that. You don't have to for someone. You want Troy Akpe?
Yeah. Troy Akpe, dude. Yo, but Ab, is there anything else? I mean, have you seen any of the clips or anything like that? What have you been looking at with training camp?
Honestly, it just started, so nothing yet, guys. Like honestly, I'm just like, we were all hyped about training camp last year, so honestly, I'm gonna take a step back on it and just trust what I see on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't mean anything unless the chemistry's there. So I just want to hear that they're developing chemistry with each other.
Yep.
Defense is on point, like where the offense and defense are pretty much trying to cancel each other out. That means they're both doing a good job.
Yep.
Hopefully, and no injuries.
Always
like
always.
this year.
Hey,
Right.
I got something. Since our girl just came on, I gotta say this. Honestly, and this is the truth, I never thought after all these years of watching us get torched at FedEx Field that Carson Wentz would be wearing the burgundy and gold. And so I'm excited to see him play out there. I'm excited to see him a part of our team. That's the homer in me. That's I like Carson Wentz as like from what I've seen. So I'm excited for that, and I'm excited. I can't wait for at some point during the season when we get to laugh at Ash and Wentz just destroys Dallas, and we
Let's
just
go
laugh at her and talk about all this time you were laughing at this trade, and look how we just whooped your butt.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Started early, Ash. Let's get it.
Love it.
Let's get it. I said it will be interesting to see how
She's being kind right now.
Let's go. Bring it. Come on with it. But look, we are gonna move on. One thing I did want to kind of throw out there real quick. This is another issue that we've been talking about. Play calling. Scott Turner this year. That's something I really want to pay attention to. Like how he does with now he has a solid quarterback that can throw deep. I want to see how he utilizes all these weapons. What, Av? What did I say? I'm just saying I want to see that.
No, you saved the comment by saying having a good quarterback, like a efficient quarterback, legitimate like that. That is a very, very good argument. But honestly, that dude is doo-doo from everything that I've seen. Like straight
light it up.
Like not at all. The boy, like honestly, he should be doing what we doing. Like don't even like for food. Like that's like he should not even be up there, man. Sorry.
No, you're good.
You're allowed to have that opinion.
Exactly.
I may not agree with you, but you are allowed to. I am kind of with Sean, where I'm excited to see what he turns into with this offense.
Would y'all agree with me if he doesn't do it with Wentz, then he's absolutely garbage? Would that be a fair statement?
Likely. Well, could it be Carson Wentz? Could Carson Wentz, be the problem when we be out there? But yeah, this is a big year for him. This is a big year to prove something. Absolutely.
I think if this is Carson Wentz's third offense. You get what I'm saying? Like, honestly, guys do worse when they're in these circumstances. So at least if Carson Wentz at least has another year, like maybe the second year, we can say something about Carson Wentz. But if you're not doing, and then our offensive line, I'm sorry, guys. I digress.
You're not alone, Ad. You are not alone in that thoughts. And when some of those other like the radio shows I listen to, I mean, there's a lot of hate out there for Scott Turner. So you are not alone.
So we'll see what happens coming into the season. But ladies and gentlemen, a part of what we do is we like to talk about what we expect and some of the things that we want. So we're going to have to go ahead and move on real quick.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go. The Washington Commanders. There it is.
That was awesome.
You are money with these transitions.
We're moving. We're going to do this thing. Let's go. Let's go.
Awesome.
But real quick, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it's a new season. The fall is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. July 8th. The Hall of Fame game is what, in a couple days? You know what I mean? Not that long for us, maybe a week away. We got college preseason football, and then the NFL is right here soon. So one of the things that's coming this fall, ladies and gentlemen, and one of the things that started this whole show, if you look up in Will's box right above him in the upper Yep, right there is the little emblem that says "Let's Talk Football," which is the first show of all of this with my co-host, Miss Janae Struther, and we're gonna be back in a little bit.
We're gonna go ahead and move on to one of our favorite little segments. We gotta talk about these middle of the road teams, ladies and gentlemen.
Although we go to the middle of the road, still I can't let go. Your team needs some help. Please get help. You need help. Man,
Let's go.
let's go. The middle of the daggone road, man.
Yes,
That's
sir,
awesome.
ladies and gentlemen. So this fall, Monday nights at 6:30, before the Monday night game, will be on there. Myself, Janae Struther, and it's always good because I get to rep my Washington stuff. Unfortunately, she happens to be a Cowboy, so there's always good banter and bickering and going back and forth with her. And when we win this year, when we win this year, let me tell you, we're going to be all over her show. Washington Football Weekly is going to invade every show. That's a good thing about being in charge of this thing. See, it's going to be Washington Football Weekly every single day. Let's go. But yo, we got to get into this. We're going to talk about our stat and product. Oh yeah, what's up, man?
Real quick. I'm sorry. Well, he's right. He's right. Yeah, my man,
Alex? Or
Jacob
Sydney?
Peneskins.
Oh.
Let's go.
Penesic.
It's Michigan, baby. Let's go.
Wasn't it? Looks like Michigan State.
No, it's Michigan State, but it's a Michigan name. It's our Michigan, that area, Midwest.
I don't like that.
I'm proud
Man.
of you, Sean.
You have to
I'm
do
proud of you
one,
for
bro. What are you
everything you're
doing?
doing.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Are you,
Yo,
are you Baltimore too?
No,
Like,
no.
are you a Baltimore fan now too?
I'm trying to do my due diligence, man. I'm coming on here with
that's
abs.
the point you're making right now, though. I'm just trying to tell.
Let's get it, man. Yo, let's get it, man. We're talking about these stat projections and production projections from some of our top guys and our overall offense and our defense. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you missed it, we're gonna go start right away with Carson Wentz. We discussed this last week. Let's revisit that. Ab, do you remember what you called for Carson Wentz? Or 2 weeks ago? I'm sorry, I keep saying last week. Do you remember what you called for Carson Wentz?
I don't recall.
Okay. Okay. I have this written down. Ab said he will be 65% completion percentage. That's nice.
Right. That's right.
Ab said 4,800 yards.
Okay.
33 TDs.
Okay.
And 7 interceptions.
Okay.
You were gonna love you some Carson Wentz.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Let me take that back a little bit. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Let me edit that a little bit. Okay. 4450.
Ooh.
yards.
Okay.
But everything else is on.
Okay.
Everything else is on. Okay.
I can see
Just being a little
33
realistic. First year in the offense, third offense in 3 years. New system, new wide receivers, better wide receivers, by the way. I would say a good depth offensive line. So I honestly, and he got some legs. And someone brought up some points that I didn't catch on to. Carson Wentz is a runner, guys. Like, honestly, he ain't no Michael Vick, but my man gonna put up some yards.
Yeah.
Let's say 450 on that aspect, and maybe 4 touchdowns on top of that. Give me my man.
Ooh.
Give it to me, bro.
Ooh.
Come on,
I like
bro.
that.
I ain't playing.
All right. All right.
So
Will.
that's pretty lofty.
Right.
Lofty. I feel like
got on
those are
that,
some
man.
of like the numbers I used to put up playing Madden. And so,
Yeah.
but I would love to see.
Killing it, man.
I'm trying to tell you.
Will, what you got, man?
What did I do last time? Did I say 2,800 yards?
No, last time you said 3,700.
Okay.
28 TDs.
There we go.
And 12 interceptions.
Yep, sounds about it. That sounds about right. I think he'll have a few more yards passing this year than he did with the Colts because we have better wide receivers. Just like Sydney said, McLaurin's the best receiver he's ever had.
Yep.
And he's the best receiver quarterback McLaurin's ever had. So I think he'll get a few more yards, a few more touchdowns, but I think he'll be a little bit more risky. Mm-hmm. And so he'll throw more picks than he did last year.
Oh, yeah. So what I said –
I think he'll do better than what's his name? I don't even remember his name no more. So
Heineke.
Yeah, that's there you go, that beer. Yeah. So I think he'll do better than him. He'll check down more. So I think the interceptions will be less. That's just how I see it.
Yeah. I said last time, 3,200 yards, about 30 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. And I also said that he's going to be, like you said, Ab, I think his legs he is very underappreciated on his running game, because I think he's going to be able to really get us some yards. We know this firsthand. How many times did he break the pocket when we thought we had him, taken down, and all of a sudden he scrambles out for 10, 15 yards? I mean, if he compiles all the yards he had against us, I'm sure that's, a couple hundred. So I think that's going to be something that's going to really be solid for us this coming year. His running ability.
People forget he's big, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Big. Yes. And he, so those short yardages that was really sus that we were going to get on 4th and 2 or something like that, or getting into the end zone, he's just going to go head first. That alone right there, he got 2 feet of arms, bro. Just like you did, Sean. That dude is going to be it's going to be ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It's going to be ridiculous.
Absolutely. Yo, moving on to our running back, Mr. Antonio Gibson. Will, I'm going to come to you first. What do you think? What do you think of this guy? What do you think he's going to do this year?
Yeah, so this is kind of an interesting year for Gibson, because this is kind of put up or shut up, and they drafted someone to replace him if they need to, and I think Brian Robinson is going to chunk into some of his playing time. So Vegas put him out at 869 yards and 7 touchdowns. I think I would take the over on the yardage. I think he's still going to get more yards, because I do think he's going to be motivated. I mean, we didn't think he had a very good year last year, and he still had over 1,000 yards. He just got over 1,000 yards. So I still think he's going to do that, but he's going to be motivated to go hard. I don't know if he's going to get that many touchdowns. I think Robinson's may come in and steal some of those. So I can see Gibson getting a third straight 1,000 yards, but because I think we're going to be very run heavy in our offense, but this is it, because Robinson's in the waiting, ready to go, and they like him, and I think he's really going to push him, which could be a good thing.
Yeah, and honestly, this is another one of the groups that I'm really interested in, going back to our running back days. You know what I mean? We actually have 4 guys that if we dedicated solid time to them, we can really grow around them. But just those first 3, Gibson, McKissick, and now Brian Robinson, I'm excited about that. But I think there's only one football. You know what I mean? A lot of things that I heard today. There's only one football, especially when it comes to the quarterback pass and all these receivers, but same with the running backs. You know what I mean? So I really want Robinson in there. I really want McKissick in there. But obviously, Gibson is the main guy, and as long as he stays healthy, I think he's going to eat. I don't have him going over 1,000 yards, though, and I think it's not because he doesn't do well. I just think there's going to be, like I said, there's going to be another guy getting a lot of carries. Robinson is yet to be seen, but we're expecting him to be a bruising force. This guy had over 5, yards of carry in college, over 1,300 yards last year. So we're expecting him to come in there and actually get those tough yards for us. So I think he's going to eat a little bit of that. But I'm definitely expecting Gibson to get about 800 yards. But I think Gibson is going to hit that screen game and those little quick out flats. Ab, you were talking about the check downs. Gibson's going to hit those. And I think he's going to have 350 to 400 receiving yards and a couple touchdowns like that. And I think him and McKissick are really going to do some deep. I think, to kind of what Ab has been saying, I think people are going to eat this year. And I think especially those running backs out of the backfield until Logan Thomas gets back and we really solidify a threat at tight end, I think those running backs are really going to eat. And I think Gibson's really going to do something this year. So, Ab, what do you think, man?
everything we're talking about is all assuming everyone's healthy. Like,
right.
Like this is like, do not. I thought you said he was going to do this. No. This like we should have a little asterisk right here. Just if everybody's healthy, like like that's what we should put down. But if everybody's healthy, I agree with Sean. Like it's about 850 because just like he said, I think Robinson's going to eat. I think Robinson's going to show. He's going to do enough where it's going to be like, who's going to be your starting running back next year? I think that's where it's going to be at, especially if Gibson continues to fumble the ball. We need someone. So we kept putting Gibson in because we had no one else behind him to be like, here. Like, Sean, when we got in trouble for doing something bad, what did coach do? He took us out the game. So he took us out the game and like be like, you're in timeout. And honestly, that's the worst punishment, bro. The worst punishment. But we couldn't do that with him because we had no one else behind him to sit there and be like and take all those snaps that we needed from the running back. Right. So Robinson's going to be there. Like, I hope he messes up, boy. Like, it's like it's your own team, but you're in competition with your team. So you're like secretly like, man, I just waiting for my chance, bro. I just want my chance. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hope he springs a toe. Like that's what, you know what I'm saying? Like I just need my chance and I'm gonna shine out. And I'm trying to tell you, Robinson is like that right now. He's second man up and like he's good enough to start, maybe. But we'll see this year. But like my man, like honestly, so he's gonna take some snaps at the same time. So and so I think Robinson might have his own, He might have 700 yards. You know what I'm saying? So
that would be dope. I can see. I'm telling you, I agree. I think they're gonna eat together, man. I think it's gonna be and another group that's gonna eat is our wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, we know this man not only got paid, but now he's got a quarterback finally after all of the Jason Campbells and the Josh Johnsons and the Tyler Heineke's and the, Alex Smith and all these guys. He finally has a quarterback that can light it up. Ab, you told us 4,450 yards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 4,450.
Yeah, 4,450. Like we know our boy Terry's going to eat some of that, a lot of that. So what are you expecting for Terry this year?
So how Will, off the top, do anyone know how much he had last year?
I think 77
for 1053.
Yeah.
Okay.
Averaged like 13.7.
Yeah, so like honestly, this is where he proves everybody like me wrong. This year is where he because honestly, I know you guys don't remember, but like earlier on in our days, I said he's nothing but a possession receiver. I did. I honestly, his stats prove it. That like you know what I'm saying, he needs repetition in order to get his yardage. And honestly, I think he's a phenomenal receiver. But with the limit at quarterback that we've had, it has made him a possession receiver. All he does is catches the ball, get tackled. Catches the ball, get tackled. Catches the ball, get tackled. And honestly, this is where he has a better quarterback, and this is where he shows that he's top echelon.
Yep.
You like that word right there. I had it back.
Echelon, right?
Echelon of the league. My man might get 1,400 yards, guys. My man might get 1,400 yards. Yeah. Because this is, I honestly believe that a quarterback has been holding him back and doing what other wide receivers are doing. Okay. So 1,400 yards and double-digit touchdowns. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I like that. Oh,
I
definitely like that.
Big year. Oh, yeah. You got to go big. If you have big stats for Carson, someone's got to be catching it. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And not to mention he has that the other wide receivers taking the smoke off of him. Like honestly, he's getting 1,000 yards a year with double coverage, bro. Come on. Yeah. So if we have someone to respect the other side of the field, then it takes a bit off of my man. So
absolutely.
He's definitely going to eat the most off of Carson Wentz, guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Will, what are you thinking, man?
Yeah, I'm in agreement. The Vegas line says 1,000 yards and 6.5 touchdowns. That's the easiest pound the over I've ever read.
Yep.
I mean, he was getting 1,000 yards with one-legged Alex Smith thrown to him, and he got, like you said, he got over 1,000 yards with check down Taylor Heineke. You know, they would not let him throw more than 10 yards downfield.
Yeah.
That ball does not go in the air that long. You know, so if he can do that, we're talking. Everyone's so excited to see Terry in the regular season show us what he can do. Sydney said it. I'm watching a thing on the side here where he said, you know, this is the best quarterback McLaurin has ever had.
Yep.
You know, so and I think you're going to see a lot more of him running past people, just like you said, Ab. He's no longer having to run possession routes. He can run deep. We can let him loose. So, yeah, I'm seeing well over 1,200, 1,300 yards. I think, you know, close to 10 touchdowns as well, only because we got a lot of weapons. Oh, yeah. But I think he's going to really show out where people are going to go, oh, yeah, he might be as good as A.J. Brown. You're right. I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's now I think you hit the nail on the head. This is where he proves all of us wrong. This is where, you know, the guy that we all think is not listening to the writers and the commentators and people like us is really coming after the people that didn't put him on the top 100 list. You know what I mean? That are saying, you know, things like he is a possession receiver. He's coming after all of them and saying, I got my quarterback. I got my money. It's my time to go. I'm with you guys. I say, you know, about 1,200 yards, like 1,250, 11 touchdowns. And I'm saying 93 receptions. I'm saying him and Carson are on another wavelength. And with the, you know, Samuel coming around, with my guy Diami being found, hopefully we found him this year. Other than that, you need to go back to North Carolina. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's for me. All right? But I'm thinking that Terry's really going to have a breakout season, and he's really going to submit that role as a number one wide receiver and somebody that needs to be respected in this league, you know? So we're going to go ahead and move on. We want to talk about the overall offense. Will, I'm going to come to you first. We talked about our quarterback. We talked about our running back. We talked about different pieces kind of as we've been talking about, you know, McLaurin and the whole team. What are you thinking overall? You know, what are you thinking? How do you think we're going to do, you know, ranks? And what do you think, man?
I think we're gonna like this offense. I think, you know, for the first time, we've got a quarterback that is capable of slinging it. He's a professional quarterback. We've got someone back there that was capable of making plays, and he wants to make plays. He wants to be exciting out there. He's not looking to just do checkdowns because that's the best thing he can do. He wants to have big, exciting plays. And so I think the offense is going to do really well. We've said it. We've got talent at running back. We've got rotation pieces. We've got wide receivers, the rookie coming in, you know, that looks very impressive, where it's going to take, you know, some of the pressure off Terry and these new tight ends. And we've got an offensive line that is, you know, two new starters, but they know the system. I think our offense is going to do really well. I think we're going to be a top 15 easily. I don't know if I can necessarily say top 10, so I'll probably say that 10 to 15 mark. But I think the offense is what's going to keep us in games, is what I'm seeing from them.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Ab, what do you think?
So I'm doubled down on what Will said, man. Honestly, I think it's a whole bunch of situational football, and whatever we like. If I think we're going to throw a lot, just because we're going. I predict we're going to do well, but I think it's going to not do well, like blowing teams out, like. Right. Oh, we won last possession of the game a few times. You know what I'm saying? And that's why. But I think we're going to be a respectable offense this year. Yeah. Top 12. Yeah, I'll go top 12. Yeah. Right there.
Yep. No, I mean, I'm in lockstep with you guys. Like, honestly, I would say about 11th, but I would say pass heavy. I would say 8th. In passing. I think we're going to be like lightening up like we've all been talking about. And I think the rush is going to take a hit. Like, I think we're going to be like 17th in rush. Like, where it's just like we have two different guys that are both eating, like we talk about with Robinson and Gibson, and it's kind of like no one guy is the main, not we don't have a Jonathan Taylor or Derrick Henry. We have a two-headed monster. We can do it. So I'm thinking, yeah, our passing game is going to get us in there. But I'm absolutely agreeing with you guys that we're doing it early now. Going to the defense, which is something that one couple years ago, obviously it was a COVID year, and we dealt with a bunch of bad quarterbacks in a row. But hey, we won. We were one of the top 5 defenses. We were a top tier defense. Obviously, things did not pan out. Several injuries contributed to that. But let's go. What are we thinking about our defense? Will, what do you think?
I don't have the highest hopes. That's my biggest question mark right now. We've got some injuries coming up, which we're going to kind of get into a little bit, but we got some guys on the men that we're not sure about, who's the big impact players. I don't know what we're doing at linebacker right now. And the secondary, I can only hope in year 2 improves. I know it's a segment, like it, love it, hate it, so I don't want to go too far. But from a stat part, I feel like we're going to be kind of like what Ab said, last possession of the game, winning games. And I think it's going to be because we're going to have scores in the high 20s and 30s, because I don't know if we're going to be able to stop people on defense. But at least we got the offense that finally, can put up some points.
Yep, absolutely. Ab, what are you thinking?
To me, I just think that it's the defense is actually going to struggle a little bit. We are a few people down. Our linebackers are sus, and we're putting a lot responsibility on a second-year player that has 4 concussions. So to me, it's like we're learning the defense all over again. And not to mention, Jack Del Rio is probably archaic with his play calling. So it's not inventive. It's not a mix of it. Like there's no stunts. There's it's really boring. And to me, it's just like a lot of times you got to mix it up. And if you're calling the same plays, calling the same defenses, then and granted, I know one of our best players is down, but to me, you got to mix it up a little bit. You can't just keep putting the same old thing out there. And hopefully, just praying that we do well enough to command respect and not put a lot of responsibility on the other side of the ball. I know we've always talked about it, defense do what they have to do so offense can do whatever they have to. It's like a respect thing. You basically do enough so you're not putting so much pressure on the other side. Right. And to me, I think the defense is going to put a lot of pressure on the offense.
No, I'm right there with you. I think it's going to be a very middle of the road defense. I think it's going to come in at certain times in the season where we're going to need it, to help us potentially make a run or, win us some games late in the game or something like that. But we're also going to get gashed again. We haven't really addressed the linebacker need like we've talked about. I think I'm really dependent. One of the things I said in training camp looking at is the secondary. So I'm really dependent on them to make something happen this year. We talked about linebacker. We talked about, Chase being out and how the defensive line is, we're going to figure that whole thing out. So I'm really dependent on that, the safeties, McCain, Kendall Fuller, Jackson, Benjamin St. Juice, these guys, I'm really expecting them to make something happen. And I think we're going to depend on that. If we can get a no-fly zone, a bend but don't break defense, that might be able to help us and get us to win a couple of these games. Because like you said, I think it's going to be some high scoring. Will and I were talking about it last time we were on. It was that we might have some 41-37 games. We might have it where we have the air power to do that, but our defense is struggling at the same time. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be absolutely interesting. But ladies and gentlemen, you need a breather. We're about to move on.
Let's go.
the Washington Commanders. There it is.
Yeah, buddy,
Love it.
ladies and gentlemen, we got our guy on here, so you already know we had to bring back the fan favorite segment, ladies and gentlemen, like it, love it, or
hated it.
Yeah, buddy, with my guy, Lowe is back. Ben said, with injuries to the defense, it may force Del Rio to be more creative defensively. I do agree that JDR's defense has no seasoning for its meat. If you see what I mean, I'm too food reference heavy on my analogies. I like it. Yeah,
he wrote in, but Ben Cornett, and he wrote in about offense too, and we got in like it, love it, hate it. We got like we're going to get into a little more too. He's right, and I think we agree with kind of what he said. Yeah, he's got good points. I'm glad you put that up there because I was like, oh man, we're about to move on, and he had some good stuff.
I saw it. Yo, shout out to him, man. He gets on. Sometimes he gets on from time to time, just from work, and we'll just talk on the subject and talk on certain things. He's out there with Alex Loosemore, Johnny Dean, and those guys, man, really putting in some good work. Definitely check them out. Please do that, yo. But don't like it, love it, hate it. For those of you that don't know, we have a couple topics that we will bring up, and we'll all just kind of give our position on it. Obviously, it's a like, a love, or hate, and then kind of give a little talk about why we feel the way we do. The first thing we're going to talk about right now is the players on their own PUP list. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't understand, the PUP is the players unable to perform list. Right now, Chase Young is on that list, Tyler Lawson, Chase Roulier, and Logan Thomas. I'm going to come to you first, Ab. Are you like it, love it, or hate it? What is your reaction to this?
I hate it, but not for the reason what you guys may think. I know everyone points out Chase Young. Oh, man, that's a bummer. I understand that is a bummer. His backup is a 7th-round pick. We have like 5 of them, so it's either one of them. So 7th-round pick or undrafted free agent. So it's not something that we're looking up to. I know that sucks, but again, I'm not focused on that. Logan Thomas, yeah, that sucks too. But I am not looking at that as the main reason why I hate this. Like, he's our starting tight end. But my thing is, we have some okay, a little relevant young bucks that may be vying for his job next year. So to me, this is not bad either. Like, okay, come back when you can, because he had the ACL and the hamstring last year or something like that. So it's so honestly, mend up. Come on.
Yep.
This is bad, guys, because our first string and our second string center is out for the start of the year. Like Chase Roulier apparently his injury is more worse than everybody's trying to. There's really no news about it, but pretty much he broke his leg and pretty much broke his ankle too, or something like that. And it's just god awful. And then Larson, he hurt himself right after Roulier did it. So you know what I'm saying? He tore his ACL right after that. So we can't expect to me, I don't expect these guys before week 6. I really don't. Not one bit. So to me, and his backup is Swiss cheese. Honestly, I cannot be mad at this dude. I cannot be mad at him. He's no slouch. He does okay work when he had to come in for the guards. So honestly, I kind of expect that when he jumps in at center, my man is going to do work. I feel it in my heart, but it just sucks that your first string and your second string at center is out. And honestly, he's one of the most important people in line. No one talks about the center, but the guy hikes the ball to the quarterback. So that means he has no chemistry with this quarterback, guys. None.
Yeah.
and that's something that you got to pay attention to, because like honestly, I know it don't take long for it to happen, but it may not take long for it to happen, but still, this training camp is quality time, guys. It really is.
Yeah.
So that's why I hate this.
Oh yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. Will, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean it's an easy hate,
Mm-hmm.
and I do come from the side of, you see our the face of the franchise, the guy that Chase Young on there, and this means that they can't practice. Obviously,
Yeah.
they can't even be out there doing drills and shells. Like he is not. He has to be on the sidelines. So the NFL changed up some of their rules this year, and with
Yeah.
COVID, they really revamped a lot of the roster rules. And when can players come back, with the idea that you may have players in and out of the lineup based on being sick. So when they revamped the information, or the PUP list, is you cannot practice, which we've established. If you're on this at the start of the season, you must miss 4 games. It used to be 6, so they have shrunk that a little bit. I think the reason why I hate this is I think we've got a couple players on here who are absolutely going to be on this at the regular season. They can come off this at any time during training camp and be, practicing and whatnot. But I don't think Chase Young is going to get off this. He tore his ACL in November. We found out that he had to have surgery during, at some point, they had to take grafts from his good leg to his bad leg, and that was kind of a new development. He also tore his ACL in a non-contact play, which generally they say kind of has the most concern. And so I also think he needs to recognize that you don't have to do the all-in for week 1 thing.
Yep.
12 months later would be November. So, players are recovering quicker from ACLs. And so I think he's going to be on this PUP list to start the season. I think we may see him, if we're lucky, before week 8. So I think he's going to miss half the season. So I hate that, for him. When it comes to Tyler Larsen, yeah, you're right, Ab. He tore his Achilles, and he's going to come back and play. I don't think he's going to make the roster this year because of this. I don't think he's going to be ready to play. Now, the next 2, I'm not as concerned about. I'm hearing Logan Thomas. There is almost to the point where they really think he's going to be ready for week 1, which is great news. And that's new from the offseason. That was, we were not thinking that in the offseason, because he too tore his ACL later in the year. But I guess his rehabs are all different, is what they're saying. And Ron even said it yesterday that Logan looks to be on track for week 1. And Chase Roulier was out walking with his fiance on Great Falls Park. If you've got a broken ankle and all that stuff, you're probably not going to be doing some of those movements. Totally different than football. I get it. But I think he's coming along. Although Roulier did say, hey, I got to be careful with this. This was a gnarly injury that really set me back a little bit. I'm not so worried about the last 2 as much. I think they'll be ready for week 1, but the first 2, absolutely. I think we're going to have to do some roster construction because of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. I hate it just because one of the things that we've been working for coming into this year is the experience of having we've been a young team in the last couple of years. One of the things that Ron Rivera has talked about over the last couple of years is that he's worried about maturity. One of the interviews he said recently is that he's not worried about that as much as here. He's worried about us kind of building on the experience of being there together those 2 years, winning a division championship in 1 year, and then kind of moving through this. So honestly, I kind of I hate it because I just, like you said, Young is probably not going to be back. And the 2, Tyler Larsen and Roulier, how I feel about my own line, guys. So I the more the merrier. So this is gonna may cause me to have to go back and bring some more guys in there. But that is something, depth is another key. But with Logan Thomas, I haven't heard that he's gonna come back. I've heard more that he might not make it back for this. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see on that. But that's another position where we have guys that are there. That are we planned for this with getting Hodges, Samus Reyes. We can see what he has, and then Cole Turner, to go along with John Bates. So that's, like you said, that's not going to hit as much. But it's just I just hate it because it's just Injuries is what we always talk about.
Injuries. What does that talk about? Yeah, exactly. We're starting with injuries, and there's 3 starters on the you can't practice list.
Right. Now, one thing I can't say, I know this is not a part of like, love, hate, but one thing I can't say that I like is that Curtis Samuel is not on this list. Because that's somebody that we need to have him on the field, because when we talk about Terry McLaurin, if Curtis Samuel is going to be that the Robin to his Batman, you know what I mean? And I've seen they got a couple plays for him, and I'm excited about that.
You're so right. That. You know, and he didn't practice in minicamp.
Yeah.
And so he was off to the side, and then there was this whole like, oh no, are we going through this again with this guy? But you're right. When he didn't show up on it and he practiced today, like, oh my gosh, we're already better than we were last year.
Right. So we are going to move on to the next segment of our next question. I like to love it. Hey, the Vegas stat lines for Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Adam, coming to you. They say Chase Young 7.75 and Montez Sweat 6.5. Ab, what are your thoughts? And what would you take, the over or the under? Like, where are you at on this?
So I hate it because it's so low, but Chase Young's seems understandable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I think that is, I might think it's too high for him. It might be too high for him, depending on the number of games he comes back for. Honestly, especially and then you have sometimes that guys are limited after an ACL tear. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So to me, he might not be the same person. He might be favoring that leg again. You get what I'm saying? Like, making those turns around those tackles. I don't like it because it's low. So I'm going to say hate it, guys. Montez Sweat, I hate it because this is low for him, especially if he has a full year. 6.5, especially semi-contract year. Yeah, this dude needs to put up at least double digits in order to get a respectable contract next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I know. I feel you. Me personally, I'm gonna go. I like it because Chase at that level, that's optimistic. Because like you said, Ab, I don't. That's a lot to expect because we don't even know when he's gonna come back. Much less. Look, his best year, the year he won, Rookie of the Year, he got at 7.5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he didn't have the 16 sack season, one dominating something like that. So for that, I'm fine with that. I agree with the Montez thing, and I want the over for Montez because the third year, he's one of the ones that's like, you've been here each year, you've produced each year, now you take the next step. But the reason why I like it is because it's not 48 or 49 sacks that they said they were going to try to get last year. And that's the story now. We're getting all this. No, I like it because it's realistic. If we do better than this, there we go. If we do worse for Chase, I'm fine. For Montez, like you said, we're going to have that conversation, man, because you need to get better. Period. Oh. Is he still getting braid? What happened last time, Kate? That we saw Tampa? Kate, what happened when we saw Tampa last? Can you tell me what was the score? Do you know? Did you always score 20 points?
Taylor Heineke beat Tom Brady. Let's remember that.
Let's go.
Let's just remember that.
What did he say? He said that's what I do. Let's get it. Will, man, what are you thinking about this?
Yeah, so I'm with you, Sean. I'm thinking the same way, and even what Ab said, we're like, this is low, but I love this because it's not these outrageous numbers. I also gotta say, like, depending on what they say, what the payout is on this. So Jack and I are going to put in a parlay this year on a couple different bets. And so I hope if you're listening, Jack, we got to keep this in mind because I am going to pound the over on Montez Sweat.
Yeah.
I think he's getting forgotten about here. If you're putting him in at 6.5 sacks, so and he's like Ab said, he's gotta do better than that if he wants to get paid. So I love that part of it. And with Chase Young, we just don't know when he's going to get back right now. Yep. So I would have to say I don't think he's going to get close to 8 sacks, 7 sacks in the season because he's just too unknown. right now.
Yeah.
So, but I like the fact that we have low expectations of our defensive ends.
Yeah.
Let's do that this year. We need that.
Let's keep it here, so because we know where we've been.
Yeah.
Yo, and I mean sticking with the overalls, and I'll start on this one. The overall thoughts on the offense. I love it. In fact, I'm in love with it. And we all know I was the one who hyped up Fitzpatrick last year, and I only got like a quarter out of him. You know what I mean? So it's a little cautious optimism, but I am excited because there are so many different weapons. There are so many different ways for us to like exploit the defense, and I'm excited on what could happen this year. I'm optimistic about Carson. I'm optimistic about Terry McLaurin, Curtis, Jahan Dotson. Like we haven't even discussed him and how how amazing he's looking and how everybody's saying. And I don't know. He's I was listening to something today and I was kind of thinking, and one of the announcers was Santana Moss, and I kind of thought short, slot, speed.
Snatches the ball in the air.
Yeah. Ooh, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I love this. I love it. I'm so excited to see what happens. Will, I'm gonna come to you first. What's like it, love it, or hate it? Overall thoughts of the offense.
I'm loving this offense. It feels like we actually finally have a modern NFL offense where for the last like 4 years, you go back to 2017, we've had a legit NFL offense when it was Kirk throwing to Deshaun Jackson, Pierre Garcon, and Jamison Crowder. So we've just been down in the dumps, and so I'm excited for it because I think Carson and I think Scott Turner are going to show that we've got something going. But I'm also going to say this. I love it because our bar is so low on offense.
Yep.
I mean, look what we've been watching for the last couple of years out there with Alex Smith not knowing our offense and pushing the ball downfield. And then how many quarterbacks did we have in Dwayne's rookie year? And how many quarterbacks did we play the year that we finally had one-legged quarterback leading us to the playoffs? And then we had, Heineke, who just doesn't throw the ball downfield. Like the bar's so low, like we have to be better.
Yeah.
I am going to say this. You all are really, really hyping up our aerial attack, and I'm taking the other way. I think we're going to be a little bit more conservative ground and pound, with the exception of Terry. I look back at this team, and this is the easy comparison. Y'all can be like, man, I hate this. Back when Ron was with the Panthers, and he had two running backs, D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, and Steve Smith at wide receiver. And then there was like nobody else, and it was like those guys.
Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen
had a tight
end.
So I see where I think we're going to have Gibson got to be our lead guy. I think McKissick and Robinson are going to spell him and get a lot of carries. I think Terry's going to get a lot of action. But then after that, I think Dotson's going to make impactful plays. Samuel's going to make impactful plays, but it may not be huge racking up stats for us. Right. I think De'Ami Brown's going to be Aldrick Robinson for us. He's going to get forgotten and run past people.
Yes.
Okay? And that's what I'm looking for out of him. So I think we've got all these weapons that I'm excited about. We haven't even gotten into the Logan Thomas and Cole Turners, first down and red zone threats. That I think it's just going to kind of dilute everyone's stats. So that's where I love the offense because I think we're going to ground and pound with the exception of Terry really balling out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that. Ab, what are you thinking, man?
Real quick, what year was that, Will?
Which one?
The comparison you just did with Ron's last offense.
In Carolina, I have no idea. I'm going based on my recollections.
Okay, just making sure. I'm just looking. I looked at the 2012 season where they were both in, but they had Cam Newton too, so that's a little bit different. Yeah, he's running the ball also a whole hell of a bunch too. But to me, I love this only because, just like Will said, the expectations are so low. Mm-hmm. Honestly, unless you know this offense, unless you know Carson Wentz's contract, unless you know everything that's on the line for this offense, the expectation being so low is very, very good. It makes it so that we're not as disappointed. Again, you have to know all the details of everything in order to be really disappointed and to have a higher expectation than what everyone else's expectations are. Did I make sense?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
You have to understand where they're at. Yes, I get it. We're good.
Okay. So to me, I know what I see on the field. I know what I'm looking for on the field. I know that Carson Wentz's contract is not guaranteed after this year. So I know that he's basically on a contract year trying to play, and this is like his all-in year right now. Mm-hmm. Everything's on the line this year. So everything is for all the marbles this year, but everyone don't expect much from us. Like, so we're actually that team creeping up on everybody. Like, honestly, I predict except for the first 2 games, I don't think we're going to be expected to win much of anything else all year. So to me, this is phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? This is a great way to be underdogs. I like being underdogs. I spent all my wrestling in high school as an underdog, so I love it. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, if you just keep fighting for everything, that's all that matters. If everyone does that, then honestly, we're going to be a lot better than what people expect. And that's a great thing.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Absolutely. Now, coming right back to you. Now, what are your thoughts about the defense? Are you that positive?
Oh, hell no. No.
You like it, love it, or hate this?
No. The thoughts on the defense, I think they're right where they're at. Like, I don't think like our linebackers were sus last year. Mm-hmm. Our best player on the defensive line is probably out, other than Jonathan Allen. You know, like with Deron Payne, the situation with him, like that's up in the air. Mm-hmm. I don't like that. That's like he's on his contract.
They have Jacob Panizek. So Jacob Panizek from Michigan State. They have him. I know he's gonna do something.
Okay, so to me, the defensive line is sus because of what we talked about earlier. We have a whole bunch of backups and 7th rounders and undrafted free agents as a defensive end. I think we should go out and get somebody. I think we should get somebody for linebacker also. Mm-hmm. Honestly, our safeties and defensive backs are the only ones that look like they might do something, but they're going to be tired because no one can get to the quarterback. So if you're covering your wide receiver for over 3, 4, 5 seconds, then the defensive line is not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Like no one is. Darrelle Revis and Deion Sanders aren't that good to cover a cornerback for over 5 seconds, guys. Right. So defensive line needs to do what they're supposed to do. And I just don't see it happening. I don't see a lot of pressure happening between that and the linebackers.
Yeah. I hear you. Will, what do you think?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm in agreement with you, Ab. And I think it's interesting. If you see what Nate has written here, he's suspect about our offense, but he's thinking top 15 defense. So we're going to have to get him on and hear a little bit more about this because I'm not sure. I'm not understanding what you're seeing, Nate. So I want to hear more about it.
But top 15 is mediocre. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, if he said 10, then we'd be arguing. But 15 is.
I'll take top 15 though. Honestly,
I will too. I will. I just don't see it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't either. Like, hey, think about this. 1 year, 365 days ago, we sat here saying our defense, our defensive line. How many sacks we got? Who's gonna throw on us? And look where we're at now. And we're saying like this defense is sorry.
Yeah.
You know, like, when we were going through our 53. I'm struggling to find players to put on defense. And this is, it's like during the offseason, I kind of had this trust the process, look, to it. And I'm looking at some of these guys, and it's like I think Jamin Davis is going to make a step up this year. I think they only want to play 2 linebackers at a time. Sean, your boy Cole, and Jamin are going to be featured. They can run. They're athletic. I think we're going to see improvements there because, by God, they'd be better. because if we don't, we're in a world of trouble.
Yeah.
You guys know this with me and the secondary. I think William Jackson will be better, and Kendall Fuller and BSJ, when he's playing, they're good. I've never been a fan of Bobby McCain, but he's going to get a full year in that position at free safety, so I got to give him a chance. But I don't have the highest expectations of our safeties. I love Cam Curl, but Percy Butler, Derek Forrest, Jeremy Reeves, I don't know. I'm starting to look at this roster and being like, this is kind of weak. Yeah. We'll get to the 53, so I don't want to say too much, but it's just, I look at this defense and I'm like, this is not good. And there are players out there. If we need a linebacker, there is Landon Collins out there. There's an Anthony Hitchens. If you just need someone to make tackles, you could go get Joe Schobert if you need to. There are some players out there. And Ab, just like you said, our backup defensive ends are 7th-round picks and undrafted free agents. I know they like them, but that doesn't make me feel good about this roster. No. It's just wild how we just flipped it from one year. It's like I'm looking at this saying, man, we are dependent on our stars being stars out there and making plays, and maybe it can happen. But I will say this, because I protected him last year. I defended him last year. Jack Del Rio is on the clock this year.
Yep.
You better show up and do something, because one, we don't need your Twitter account and your stupid mouth blasting off. You already hurt us in other ways, but more importantly, we need you to show up as a defensive coordinator and do something with us.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it shows. I mean, we've got multiple people in the comments talk about his offenses or his defense is vanilla. You know what I mean? He's not doing anything. Ab, you mentioned it before as well. He needs to step up. He's on the hot seat, especially if we're going to talk about Rivera being on the hot seat or maybe not being given as many more years after this if he doesn't succeed. Del Rio definitely has to be looked at. Look, I'm not excited about this defense. We know we're very offense and like you said, stud heavy. So I want to be optimistic. My guy Cole Holcomb, you know what I expect from him. I'm definitely looking at that secondary as something big, but until we get Chase back and a healthy Chase back, which might be late in the season, I'm just not really, I'm kind of I'm hoping. Jonathan Allen, let's see, what can he do? He had a great year last year. Can he get more on that? Deron Payne, we know about the contract issues and all that. Hey, is he going to ball out this year and do something? And then the rookie Fedarian Mathis, with Montez, who, like you said, Ab, needs to have a monster year. Look, like I told you before, I'm relying on that secondary, but I'm expecting us to struggle and for us to be upset with our defense a lot this year. So I'm not excited about what is coming. But hey, there's still some cautious optimism in there because maybe we'll be able to shine. I think they'll shine at certain times. We'll see. But ladies, yeah, for sure. But ladies and gentlemen, we have to go ahead and move on, and we're coming to our last segment on this show. One of the reasons why we had my guy on here, Ab Lowe, was a part of the first annual 53-man mock and 53-man official last roster that we did a year ago, and if I'm not mistaken, we were pretty close. I think a couple players off. I mean, obviously I was off because I had
in there. There was some surprise ones in there.
Yeah. Now, as we know, a year ago, I was just all over Mr. Ryan Fitzpatrick. From the minute he got picked up, I was like, this is it. This is our guy. This is it. And that lasted all of one half of football, not even a half, maybe like a little over a quarter. And he was out. So, obviously I've tempered my expectations. Ab,
what about your 15-man offensive line?
Hey.
What you talking about?
Hey, exactly. We used a lot of guys. All right, we had a lot of guys in that rotation. So I think, I was
had 12 or 13 offensive linemen when you rattled them off.
I had 14
offensive linemen.
I cut one. I had 14. Okay, but hold up.
You could do that this year because our defense is so sorry. It's hard to round out a roster.
Wait. I'm not the only one here. Ab, there's a receiver by the name of Adam Humphries that you vehemently were against a year ago.
What can I say, man? Like, what can I say? Like, to me, look, I'm not. I don't want to say what I want to say because we on a PG show.
Oh,
and I'm trying to keep it clean for y'all. So, but anyway, like the dude, like he was respectable when thrown at. So, I mean, I can't all the way hate him, but again, everyone else but Terry was garbage at wide receiver. Well, so, it wasn't like we'll just say I was half wrong.
Oh yeah, well there you
go. I'm not proud of getting Adam Humphries right. Let me say it that way. It's not a good thing for that I got it
right. Yo, so ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna go into our mock 53-man roster. We're gonna do it on the first day of training camp. Look, man, I'm having fun. I had a long period at work today where I was on my computer.
That was dope.
I was like, yo, we getting them in here today. Oh, this is gonna be fun. So, yo, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. You guys want to do it like we did last year? Go position by position, and just knock that out. And we'll get out of the way first. Special teams, obviously. So. Kicker, Joey Sly. Everybody's pretty much same with that. Obviously, the MVP, punter, Tress Way. And then Cam Cheeseman at long snapper. So,
yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
50 spots up for grabs now.
There you go. Now, starting at quarterback, I will start, as we know, Carson Wentz. He's our starter. This might surprise you guys, but Taylor Heineke is my number 2. I think he's got the experience. He's been in playoff games. He's played big name games, and for all his faults, he can get the job done. But so I think he's definitely has that advantage over my guy Sam Howell, who is there. Cole, what's the other guy? Kelly.
Cole Kelly.
Cole Kelly. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it personally. You guys, what do you guys thoughts? Same?
No arguments.
Yeah.
You got Taylor Heineke number 2 and Sam number 3.
Yep.
I got that, but an asterisk. I do reserve the right to say I told you so when they trade Taylor Heineke for that's what I think they should do. I'm gonna throw out what I think they should do out there, guys. Okay. Just in case it comes back. So I think they should trade Taylor Heineke and roll with Sam Howell, our future, as number 2.
Our future. Oh my God. You and Sean.
You ain't gotta say nothing else, Ab. Let's go. What do you mean? What?
You say the words our future, and I'm about to turn this not into a PG show.
Let's go. Tar Heels. You already know what it is.
Yes, he is the future, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Heck yeah, that's right. That's my guy. That's right. You always welcome. Let's go. No. So that is what it is. Well, same for all three of us. Ab, I'm gonna come to you right here on the position that you and I both played and made famous, the halfback position. What are you looking at?
I see Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson, two-headed monster. Mm-hmm. So that's 1 and 2, either way. And then J.D. McKissick on third down back. That's it.
Gotcha.
Well, and I'm sorry, Jared Patterson, but you know what I'm saying? I like you on the team, but I think we're just moving on. Yeah. It's a business.
Yep, I agree with you, Ab. I do have Jared on it just because honestly I had to fill out a roster, but I put him in asterisk here or italics because I think he very well could be off, and because I don't think there's he could be on the practice squad.
Yep.
And they also like Jonathan Williams too. So I don't think they care that much about that fourth running back spot so much where if they need to keep 4 or 5 tight ends because they don't want to lose a Samus and a Curtis Hodges, I can see him easily being that roster casualty, like you said.
Yeah. I have all 4: Gibson, McKissick, Robinson, and I do have Jared Patterson. Just because with the absence of DeAndre Carter, I know punt return and kick return is open. I don't trust Dax Milne, and I know we brought over Alex Erickson, but if there's anybody that we know can play and definitely run with the ball and wants to get himself on the field, I think that would be good for Jared Patterson to try that out. But again, he could also be practice squad or not even make it, because I do agree with the consensus that those top 3 are going to be the guys that we're going to run with. And starting with, I think we're all on the same page that Robinson is going to get some serious touches with the ones this coming fall.
Yep.
He'll be active roster all year.
I'm excited to see it. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, Will, coming to you in the most hotly contested position from a year ago, wide receiver. Will, what do you got?
Yeah, so I've got 6.
Okay.
Terry McLaurin is obviously our number 1. I got Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel as my 2 and 3, De'Ami Brown at 4, Cam Sims as our number 5. He's our only tall target. All the other guys are Smurfs. And then I don't like this six wide receiver. I actually would love if we could only pick 5. But I went veteran over the younger guy. So I did pick up Alex Erickson to make this roster. He's made some plays in the NFL. He can be a returner. I don't love it, but I'll go Alex Erickson.
Okay. Ab, what you think?
I got 7 guys. To me, it's everything what you said, Will, but you have to add Dax Milne, the second wide receiver of the he's a nice guy. What's his name? Zach, what's his
Wilson?
Wilson.
Yeah.
Story?
Oh yeah.
Yes, I was going to
got his lady. Oh yeah.
We gonna call him Pimp Daddy Mill now, okay?
Yes. He's all up in that controversy.
We gonna call him Pimp Daddy Mill now, okay? So
Those
he's
Mormons,
got the 7th spot.
Yeah, man. Oh man. No, I like that. I only have 6 though. Milne is somebody that I have on because he knows kind of the system, but he's another one that it's like we don't have that special teams, that return guy. I know Milne had some, punt returns, potential kick returns. So I want him to be around. Everybody else for me is, pretty much same. Terry, Curtis, Jahan, De'Ami. I have Adam Humphries staying instead of Cam. And Adam Humphries I know, I understand, but
Adam Humphries.
I don't think we signed him.
Oh, we didn't.
No.
There he goes again, man.
Yeah,
well,
I don't.
Well, then Erickson, then Cam. They keep Cam in there, and I'm done. Tight end.
Real quick before we go on. So I'm really disappointed about this wide receiver group, to be honest with you. Like normally in training camp, we have guys that are like undrafted free agents, or we bring people up that we're really excited to see. There's 1 or 2 guys that they picked up on the undrafted that they say, they showed some speed or they did this, but I'm not excited about the lower tier part of this group. Maybe it's also good. That means because we got 3, let's hope we have 4 solid players that we don't need to worry about who's 5, 6, 7 anymore. But it's like I usually like wide receivers, that fun group for me to watch. And this year I'm like, no, we got our team. Like I don't care about you.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, and that's another thing about. At wide receivers, like you said, now we've talked about running back and tight end being positions that we're going to potentially exploit. Then you have McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Dotson, and that could be it. Like we said, there's only one ball to go around. You know what I mean? And so we're talking about all these different weapons and things like that. Somebody is going to have to lose out. And so that's going to it might come up at wide receiver. Tight end is we're going to move to. I think we could. I go Logan Thomas, obviously, when he gets back. John Bates, Cole Turner, and AGG. Samus and Curtis Hodges, honestly, I have them on my thing on parentheses that says practice squad. You know what I mean? Like, Samus, we still want to see what he can do. Hodges, we've been talking about from OTAs. So I want to keep them both on the team if possible. But right now, if you had to just give me the 4, I want Logan Thomas, Bates, Turner, and AGG. Ab, what do you think, man?
Okay, so this is where we do substitutions because guys aren't going to be ready for the beginning of the year. So this is where it starts. Tight end to me. So Logan Thomas when he's available, okay. But I'm saying we starting the year with 3 tight ends, okay. John Bates as our starter, Cole Turner right behind him, and right here, guy for a number 3 guy, Armani Rogers. My man is going to make this roster. He is Logan Thomas type, has a 4.4. I want to say 4.5 40 converted quarterback to tight end. He's going to do some damage, guys. If he can block, he's going to make this roster, guys.
You are very right. And someone who's in the background there, Nate Snell, is the one who told Sean and I about him when we were doing our tight ends. Like, this is what we're hearing. He was like, Armani Rogers is someone. Yeah. I went with the side that Logan Thomas is gonna make the roster week 1. Like, he's gonna be active. So I've got 4 tight ends: Logan, John Bates, Cole Turner. That's the easy one. Yeah. This 4th one, I don't like my choice at all. So I think I'm gonna be wrong. I picked Sammy Reyes for now, only because of all the folks that we've got. He's got a leg up of experience on them, to where I think you've got folks like AGG and Hodges and Rogers that they all show the potential that they could be stashed in the practice squad, just like Reyes could be stashed in the practice squad. So I don't know what is the real difference between all them. So I don't love that choice. I just did it because we haven't seen him yet. So it's like, all right, maybe he'll show us something.
The difference is going to be blocking. I can tell you that it really is.
But isn't that what Samus was kind of doing or learning all last year? Well, he was learning everything, but
I don't know. I think they were just trying to, as in the words of the guy in the comments, they were seasoning them. Like, you know what I'm saying? They were trying to season them to get ready for this year, and I hope it paid off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would have loved to see some of these tight ends go to tight end university guys. I would have loved to see that. So
it's gonna be interesting. And to your point, the blocking is going to be key. One of the things I did find interesting today at training camp, one of the things I noticed when they split, the tight ends went with the linemen to do some of the blocking drills, but AGG stayed back with the wide receivers. I thought that was interesting. They didn't really go into detail about it, but we'll follow up on it tomorrow and kind of see if there's something with that. Because I was like, thought he switched over to tight end. So I don't know. That'll be interesting to see what they do with that tomorrow. But all right, I'm coming to you, Will, on the next line group. Next group, it's the offensive line. What you got, man?
All right. 10 offensive linemen. Okay. Starting from left tackle, moving on. I've got Leno starting at left tackle, Andrew Norwell at left guard. I have Roulier back to start the season. I have Trey Turner starting, and I'll explain why, at right guard, and then Sam Cosmi. My backup left tackle is Cornelius Lucas. So that's 6. I've got Wes Schweitzer and the reason why I don't have him starting at right guard where Sheriff was exactly what Ab talked about, where he is our plug-in at center. So he's going to be that guard center type person for us. I've got Sadiq Charles making the roster. And then here are the last two names that I have here. One of them is our late round pick out of Tulsa,
Yes,
Chris Paul.
Yep.
I think he's going to make it. And here's my sleeper. It's going to make it and then be the inactive all year. Tyrese Robinson. I think he came from Oklahoma. He's a guard. So the kind of thing I'm looking at here is I'm very guard heavy right now. So like I could see will Keith Ishmael make it to be a backup center maybe? But I just kind of went a little bit more on potential, and I really felt like Keith Ishmael can, like, if they want to bring him up because we get injured, he can come off the practice squad. Where Paul and Robinson are going to be these younger guys that we want to have control over and have them on our roster.
Yeah. What are you thinking,
bro? It was very hard to fill out 10, even though I think 10 is going to make it. Like, honest, that is a solid number. I picked 9 last year, but I think 10 will make the squad. It's hard because 2 of those 10 is going to start off on IR. I believe it. I think so. I think they're going to be out at least the first 4 to 6 games. But so here it is. It's Leno, Schwartzer, Rouillet, Norwell, Cosme. I like Paul. Hopefully he works out for us.
Yeah.
Trey Turner, Cornelius, Lucas, my man. I like him, man. I like that. I like he's still on the team. I like that. Larson, whenever he can come back. And honestly, Charles, I don't know what the hell you're doing, bro, but you need to do something, man. Like, honestly, if we weren't so top heavy and on offensive line, this dude wouldn't make the roster. If we didn't need 10, he wouldn't make the roster, y'all. Yeah. I just need you guys to see this. We need 10, but this dude is probably, how long he's been here? 3 years, and he hasn't done anything yet.
He's barely active.
Right. You get what I'm saying? So, to me, he's my 10th player. So I don't, and 2 of them is going to start the year on IR. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is going to be awful. So this dude needs to show something, a little more than something.
How about
maturity?
How about the fact that, just like you said, he was drafted to be our future left tackle, and we're in year 3 and we're not talking about him.
Yeah.
And when he was drafted, the guy who drafted him at that time, Kyle Smith, who people loved here, was praising this guy. See, we got a stud. We got a future starter here. He just had some bad raps at LSU, and it's like, he hasn't gotten on the field.
Everybody low key thought he was like a steal, he should have been like first round, except for this or that.
Yeah.
I still remember it, and then he didn't come to fruition, bro. Like, this is sad, man. It's very sad.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
All right, Sean. This is your moment.
Guys, it's
give
not
us some 20, bro. Give us some 20 man squad.
I told you this was the surprise. I'm at 10. I honestly, there's a bunch of names that I was just like, nah, I've looked at. I'm not really interested. Look, I love Chase Rouillet, obviously, and him and Larson will be hurt. Wes Schweitzer, I've heard nothing but good things about him, not only for his center play, but also for his ability to go to guard. Cosme, Leno, Ishmael, Cornelius, Lucas. Sadiq Charles is one of those guys I had an issue with, and I was kind of going like, do I want to? I did keep him at the end of the day because when I looked, I was just like, I kept trying to find more guys to put on, but it was just like, I can't. I'm gonna be realistic this year. I don't have 14, ladies and gentlemen. I have a simple 10. But I think honestly, with this set, we have a number of guys that can play multiple positions, and with Larson and Rouillet being out, I like that we have some other guys that are quality guys coming in there. As opposed to always having one big guy in Sheriff last year and, filling in everywhere else. We kind of have a nice little set. And Trey Turner and Andrew Norwell, both know that system. They know this type of offense. They've run it before, so I'm interested. Chris Paul is one that you guys both talked about, and I'm not, trying to be repetitive, but he's been somebody out of Oklahoma State I've been excited to see what he can do. He was the teammate of the guy that with Smith that Dallas picked up in the draft in the first round. So yeah, I got 10. Nothing to see here, ladies and gentlemen. I brought it down. Moving on to defensive end, I'm bringing this to you, Ab. What do you think? How many do you have?
Sorry, I got defensive line, Sean. So
Okay.
let me defensive line. Okay,
that works. Yeah.
All right. Montez Sweat. I'm hoping for 10 sacks. You know what I'm saying? 10 sacks, 1 interception, 1 touchdown. Deron Payne. Let's have that contract year, baby. Jonathan Allen. Let's go for all. You were Pro Bowl last year. Let's do all pro this year. Okay. I'm looking for Aaron Donald type deals, bro. Come on. I need to see that. Okay. Chase Young, get back to us soon, man. We need you. For Darian Mathis. Honestly, I want to see that this man is able to take the backup role of Ionitis. Ionitis and Settle. Like I don't know why there's not someone to supplement one of the other, but if he's going to take up both roles, then I need to see that. I need to see at least 4 sacks out of this, bro. So let's see what's going on there. Abodo, we picked him up this year. All right, let's get it. All right. So now we're talking about Chase's backups. Smith Williams and Tuhill. That rounds me off at 8. That is all I got right there, guys. I need 9. I'm sorry. My man from last year, guys, is going to be Bun Me, Rotamy.
Yeah.
Wrote me. Yeah.
Yes.
Come on, man. Let's do it. Like, honestly, don't know. I haven't seen a lot out of you, but honestly, I need to round out my 9. So let's go.
Yo, Will, what you think, man?
All right, so I'm going to go D-line, but I'm going to start at defensive end, and then I'll go with my defensive tackles. So I did 5 defensive ends, and I'm taking Chase Young out of the mix because he's not going to be a part of the 53 to start the season. So I've got Montez Sweat. I've got starting on the other side is James Smith Williams. Ooh. It ain't good.
Yeah.
And Casey Tuhill. I've got the F.A. Obata, like you talked about, the free agency. And then so I got, because Chase Young isn't a part of the team to start, Shaka Toney makes it in his spot. Is what I have. At D tackle, we're thin. I've got 3. Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, and the rookie Fedarian Mathis. One guy I would say to look at, and this is where I'm looking for players. I might see a name to watch at defensive tackle would be Daniel Wise as someone to see. Could he be the 4th? Because I don't like only putting in 3. That's not enough. So I don't like what I'm doing. But Wise just came to me now. But it's like, I guess. But there is a little bit of, James Smith Williams and Obata can play D and D tackle. So there is a little bit of flex there. But it ain't good. Backups ain't good.
And you know who else? You know who else has flex? Jacob Panasic. Okay, out of Michigan State, he can play D end, he can play D tackle, and he is somebody that I say is making this team. And when he makes the team, both y'all are gonna get a jersey. All right, let's go. All right, I got D end, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Shaka Toney, and James Smith Williams. And because Chase won't be there, my guy Jacob Panasic is going to show up and show out. As far as D tackle, I've got obviously the front 3 of Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, and Fedarian Mathis. I think that triple threat is going to be solid. I've been kind of talking about that this offseason. And it's funny you said Daniel Wise. That's somebody that I had on here because it was just 3, and I felt we need another person that's going to be able to come in. And with Chase not being in, I think between Jacob Panasic and Daniel Wise, they'll be able to kind of roll in and flex in those positions and do some things. Let's go.
He does exist. You're right.
That's right. I'm just gonna follow him now wherever he goes. I'm just going right there.
You gotta get on Twitter and say, "Listen, man, I've got I put a lot behind you here. You need to show out.
Come on, brother, please." Yo, we got to move on. We're gonna go into linebacker. I'll start. Cole Holcomb. Uh, that you already know, you guys already know that is absolutely my guy. 142 total tackles, 7 passes defended, 2 picks, a sack, a TD, 2 tackles for loss. This guy, hey, he gives you consistent that hustle. He plays above maybe his skill level, but for a while he's been all we've had at that position. I, like you, Will, am looking at Jamin Davis and saying this is the year. I have high expectations. You've been in the system. Now you're not raw. You should know the offense. You're the defense now. You should know and more go back on to instincts like you did in college. Also, another guy you've been talking about, Mayo. I want him on there, obviously, he's for special teams. Kaliki Hudson out of Michigan. I'm eager to see what he's been doing. I know Kate's been talking my ear off with him. And I think that's it. I think I just got 4. I think I got those 4 guys. Will, what do you think?
Yeah, I've got the same 4, and that's weak, man. Like, I understand when they say Hill and Smith Williams can play special teams and do things that normal linebackers can, but this linebacker core, Mayo and Hudson, like said, I gotta see if he steps up, because those 2 backups are like, what happens if Cole Holcomb gets hurt?
Yeah.
What are we going to do? And I know they love David Mayo out there for like being the quarterback, but they know he's not fast enough. And they want to go more of a 5-2 or have more DBs instead of linebackers. But it's just weak backups. I don't feel good about those backups.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Ab, what do you think, man?
Some of the hype that I heard from some of the undrafted free agents, I'm just going to speak on it. Like, I only have 4 guys, and it's the same 4 you guys are talking about. The only thing I can hope for is that that there's a secret in the undrafted linebackers that we don't see yet. Like, and nobody knows yet. That's going to be a surprise. You get what I'm saying? Like, I really, really am praying that's what it is, because it's like, to me, I don't know if you guys see it, but there's like, we have the top 4, but then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 undrafted free agents, linebackers there. I think they know, like, they're acting like they don't know, but they know we are slim at that linebacker position. Yep. I think they got something there that they're just not telling anybody. And to me, I'm just praying that they fill it out to 6, maybe 7, and then that's what our defense is going to be. But I agree with you guys, the top 4.
Absolutely. Now, we're moving into the last part of it, and it can be broke down in the cornerbacks and or safeties. But did you guys put them together in secondary, or what did you guys do?
I did defensive backs.
Just all defensive backs?
Yeah. I split them, but I can do what we did and just lump them together for the defensive line. That's fine.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and go to that. Will, I'll come to you.
Okay. I hate this position group, folks. I can't stand it. At corner, I've got Kendall Fuller and William Jackson as the starters. We know that. Benjamin St. Juste. I've got the number 4 corner being Christian Holmes, the rookie. I've got Danny Johnson making the team, who I didn't think would make it last year. I think some of it for special teams. And I need another corner. I need somebody, because this is bad. I got Troy Apke because I didn't know anyone else on the roster to put. That's how bad it is. Yeah. It's like, to me, like, you're right, Ab. All these undrafted linebackers and undrafted corners, like, who the hell are these folks?
Yeah.
At safety, I've got, Cam Curl and Bobby McCain as our starters. I got Percy Butler, who I'm intrigued by to see out there. Derek Forrest is, the second-year man out of Cincinnati. I don't know. I hope he turns into something more than special teamers. But, again, I don't have a lot of faith. And then only because I needed bodies. And, I like this guy, but we're talking about, a 3rd or 4th year of him being a roster bubble guy. I have Jeremy Reeves. I'd like to see him play more, but if you're in your kind of like talking about Sadiq Charles, if it's year 3, year 4, and you're on the roster bubble and no one's talking about you, you're just a jag, in my opinion.
Yep.
You're just a guy out there. So I think our secondary is weak, and I'm trying to catch myself to not say what I shouldn't to keep this PG because I don't like it. Unless again, outside the starters, I don't like it.
No, it's definitely cautious optimism. But like to your point, when you were talking about Derek Forrest, I look at him, I look at Reeves, and I'm kind of like he, it's a toss up. Who can go? Like they're not really making the type of impact that we're looking at. And like you said, William Jackson killing full. I got pretty much the same. I think 1 or 2 names are different. Like I went with Reeves over Forrest. But it's not anything that really gives you that kind of hope. But it's kind of William Jackson, St. Just, Fuller played together. Cam Curl, McCain, they played together. So maybe that chemistry will help them. But it's still, when you look at the names, like I'm really hyped for Christian Holmes. And he was part of one of the top 5 defenses in Oklahoma State a year ago. You know what I mean? So they play good ball. So I'm eager to see if he can translate that into this. But when you get down to those last couple guys, it's like just blindly pick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we don't know how much help they're actually going to give. Ab, what do you think, man?
So I'm in line with you guys. To me, it's the same top 9, 10. I got 11 with Christian Holmes. Troy Apke makes it because there's nobody else you know what I'm saying? But it's the same old guys from last year pretty much. And then whoever we drafted this year. Yep. So like I'm not mad with it because it's a full defensive back room, but it's just like it's still uninspiring. And other than our top 4, 5 players at defensive back, we just praying that none of those people get hurt and they can stay in the complete 100% of the defensive snaps.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's not realistic. But just anyone that backs them up can come in with the same heart, talent, and agility and everything else that is needed, just like for being a starter. So there can't be a layoff because the backups are going to be important, just as important this year too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I looked on here before, like on Spot Track for free agents, and there's not a lot of help out there either when it comes to safeties. There's a dude that has bounced around, Andrews and Deho, but is he any better than what we have? And there's a dude from Dallas I loved coming out of the draft from Boise years ago named Darian Thompson. But Dallas let him go this past year. He's been on a couple teams. It's like there's not a lot of help out there, whereas, at linebacker there is. It's just I'm just really surprised with this roster construction where I was trying to fill spots on defense. And usually it's like I'm at that 26 on each side trying to figure out, well, who am I going to cut? And I'm just looking at this back end of this roster going, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened here?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. Offense was easy. With that defense, it was just like, where am I going? It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And like I said before, like what I'm really banking on with the defense and especially the secondary this year is kind of something that Coach Rivera was talking about that he was looking at. One of the things that he was looking forward to and just taking his coach hat off and putting the fan hat on, one of the things he was looking forward to outside of the offense gelling was the defense building on the experience, building on them being together for those in the last couple of years and playing together. Let's build on that. Where talent might not, where you might miss out on a little talent here, it's just that camaraderie and knowing each other. You know what I mean? So I'm eager to see how that plays out. Oh yeah.
I say fingers crossed on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh.
We got to first, like you mentioned, Will. We first got to make sure our defensive coordinator stays off Twitter. So,
which he dropped. So I mean that's an improvement.
Yeah. Now, look, on this show, you know how we do, ladies and gentlemen. We are open to let people come in here and ask questions or banter with us or see. We'll get down some Cowboys fans this year. But one of the most famous guys that we know, ladies and gentlemen, somebody that I spend all my time watching and studying, read all of his books, Mr. Nathan Snell. I gotta bring him in with this video.
Hello, YouTube. I am a mass communications major in journalism and media with a focus with television and radio. The one thing that bothers me is the narrative that the media gives. When I look at the reaction from Ray Rice and Chad Wheeler, I said the same thing in the video in the midst of what happened in Washington, D.C. You see two distinctions of media towards white America and black America.
Mr. Nathan Snell. What up, Nathan?
You can change that intro.
I laughed. No, that's a good video, man, and you make some real good points there too. I just laughed at the very beginning. That's great.
Breaking news. Yo, Nathan Snell, I know you're going on a little bit later. We're so glad that you were able to come on here. I know you and I have talked about some Washington stuff, but talk to us. What are your thoughts? What are your expectations? Our offense, our defense? Where do you stand on that?
I'm pretty much aligned with where you guys were the whole episode. This is a great talk. I love how you guys broke down each position. I'm really not sold on the defense right now because I would like to know what the identity is. I know there's been, we cut Landon Collins because of Cap. So I'm trying to really figure out what the identity with Del Rio's trying to build with this defense. I actually didn't. I know Ab said he had Troy Apke making the team. I actually cut him. I think he's going to be cut. I think Jeremy Reeves, Christian Holmes, those are Percy Butler are my guys that are going to make the team.
He was on. We made him like he was like one of our last picks. That was at like 10 or 11, bro.
He's 53. He's number 53. Now, wait a second, Nate. You said you're not as sold as the defense, but you wrote earlier that you think they're going to be top 15.
I think they're going to be top 15. I just don't know what the identity is, and it all depends on the health of what Chase Young looks like, and then what it's just how the defense is going to look this year. I think the defense has potential to be a top 15. I should have said it like that. It's just what predicated on the health and what the identity is. Because last year, you could tell there was really no true identity.
No.
So,
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then on the offensive side of the ball, my biggest question mark is Curtis Samuel. I'm a fan, but I've been kind of really critical of like the injuries here with him, especially this is his second year in his contract.
Mm-hmm.
So I think De'Ami Brown. I actually had 5 wide receivers making the team. Not 7. You guys had 7. I had 5.
6 or 7. Yeah, 6 or 7.
Okay, so I had 5 of them.
Yeah.
So where are you adding then? If you only got 5 receivers, where are you putting extra players? Who are you seeing out there that you're trying to like basically roster stash?
I think they could buff up the offensive line a little bit. I think they can probably
4 linemen.
Yeah, geez, Sean. It's music to Sean's ears. Jeez.
Thank you, Nathan.
Okay. All right. What else?
Offensive lineman and tight end. I'm just not really knowing what Logan Thomas is going to be at. To be honest, like I feel like they should just have I don't know. I think they should expect him not to be ready until like week 4, week 5. So,
take it.
And I could even see, we keep talking about all this unknown talent at tight end. Sometimes if it's something where if you can drop a Jarrett Patterson because you can keep a 5th tight end, if you can keep a Rodgers, a Hodges, a AJ, you keep all those guys yourself like we did Reyes. Maybe that is a different type of roster construction just for the sake of we don't want to lose these guys. If they all are showing something.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah. No, and now before we get out of here, we did want to ask you this. You and I have had these conversations. We've been talking about it for weeks on this show.
Sure.
We know our quarterback, Carson Wentz. He is here. We have expectations. We have optimism. What are your thoughts on him? What's his stat line? Do you think he's going to be? How well do you think he's going to do this year?
I think Carson Wentz will do fine. I believe he'll throw for 25 touchdowns. I'll say have about 3,500 yards in passing. You'll probably the first few couple weeks. I think there's going to be some. I think that you'll see some chemistry issues, but I think that'll get worked out after the second week. In my personal opinion, enough of all this. He didn't show me anything in Indianapolis and in Philadelphia. Like that should be water under the bridge right by now. Like I think a lot of it was confidence. He didn't get the confidence. To me, Doug Peterson is not that type of a head coach where he gives you confidence. I thought Frank Wright, I think, really tried to make it work, but I think the expectations for the Colts, period, it just didn't pan out because I don't blame him for them choking in Jacksonville. I think that was a team effort on their end, but I think Carson will be fine.
I can dig it.
When you draft a quarterback in the second round, I think that will shake anybody's confidence.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Now, we all know Carson's going to have to deal with the ghost of Sam Howell, nipping at his heels.
I feel the same way, Nate.
And that Tar Heel blue. All right. Hey, don't get mad at me because you guys from Maryland couldn't handle the ACC and had to go to the Big Ten. All right? Don't get mad at my Tar Heels, baby. Let's go.
Maryland is
losing
in money like Scrooge McDuck right now. Not Scrooge McDuck, whatever that dude from the DuckTales used to be, where he would dive off into money. That's what Maryland's doing now because the ACC is hurting. They're not hurting, actually, but they ain't raking in with the Big Ten is.
Yeah. Hey, Tar Heel Nation. Nate.
How about G.G. Jackson, Sean?
Excuse me?
How about G.G. Jackson? How do you like
that? And next, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do this clip from Anton Benton. But I didn't mean to do that yet. We're gonna do it later. Listen, Look, we got to go, ladies and gentlemen. We've been on here for 2 hours.
Late. Sean, we're keeping Ab up late, man. And just for the record, I want you all to show this. I'm usually the one at like 9:30 likes to go to bed. Papa Will is going strong at 11:10 at night.
Oh yeah. For those of you who don't know, before the show, Will was like, "Look, at any point, if I just jet off, he's like, don't worry about it. I'm good. I gotta take care of some stuff." Yeah. I was like, "We're good." Yes, thank you so much. Thank you again, our special guest, Mr. Ab Lowe, the shirtless wonder, back on the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate you guys, man.
Good to see you, brother. Good to see you.
Yeah. You definitely will be a mainstay as this season gets going. And maybe, I know you and I talked about this when we first started everything. Since you got season tickets, we might need that live on the scene game day reporter. You know what I mean? What I mean?
Just make sure you stay away from a distance where where the state doesn't collapse.
Oh no! Right.
or the sewage water doesn't fall on.
Right.
Hey guys, my kids want to flex on you real quick, just so you guys know. Come on,
let them see it. Let's go.
Come on. They were running in and out of their rooms. They were like, "Can we be on TV again?"
I can see.
See, you flex.
Yeah.
You flex on them.
Let's get it.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I can dig it. Yeah, buddy. Yo, and my guy, Mr. Nathan Snell, Mr. Late Night himself, Mr. WNBA,
yes.
Doing that thing. Yo, Nate, talk to us. When are you going on tonight? What are we talking about? What can we expect in the future?
I'm going to record an episode because it is getting late. So I'm going to record an episode and it can go live tomorrow. Just right now, just because it's just basketball right now and baseball. I will be getting it back into football in about another week or so because in August that's really when football starts. But right now it's really kind of just basketball. So yeah.
All right, Nate, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Will Juan Soto be traded, And if you were GM, would you trade him?
No, I don't think he'll be traded. I think he'll sign. In my personal opinion, I think a lot of it, honestly, is the way I think how the Nationals handled their rebuild. If you ask me, the Nationals, honestly and truthfully, they were old. Yes. I just don't think you can win with guys that are 31 plus. He knew that. Mike Rizzo knew that. They got their championship. I think it's not really about. I don't think it's about the money. I think it's about the trust, and I think they're going to have. It's going to be some work to repair it. But I would hate to see the Nationals lose out on a guy like Juan Soto, and they're going to be like stuck.
Yeah.
So.
I just hope it's not another DC trade where they're like, what is Washington doing?
Yeah.
I don't know much about baseball, but if it's going to be a trade, it has to be something astronomical where we're getting over on somebody else.
Right.
It has to be.
Yeah, it's apparently what they're asking for. But yeah, it's just like it's a tough pill to swallow to think that like 15 years from now, 2 players are going to get inducted into the Hall of Fame, and they once started as Washington Nationals. You know, Bryce Harper and Juan Soto, and we're going to let these guys leave town? Like, what?
Both of them left. Well, look, what do you expect from a franchise that came from the Montreal Expos?
Right. And the learners are cheap, and they're in the business of malls. That ain't the good business right now. They don't have money.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. It is. But look, ladies and gentlemen, look, we've been on here over 2 hours. We got to let you go. We appreciate the guests. Washington Football Weekly is here. Training camp is here. We've got a lot of stuff coming, and we're going to be breaking this stuff down. Ab, we're going to bring you back on when we do our final 53-man mock roster and see who we
fantasy football.
Oh, exactly. Thank you. Yeah. Commish. Are we starting this thing back up this year?
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's run it back.
Let's do it. 4 tight ends. Here we go.
Flex on you, bum, man.
We get 2 starting kickers this year. That's let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to head out. It's your boy, Sean Spencer, South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer over here. You see him, the shirtless wonder that has a jersey on, Mr.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for having me.
And the king of late night himself, Mr. Nathan Snell. Hey, check us out. Washington Football Weekly. Let's talk football. Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. We got everything. We got fathers. We got people doing big things. We're happy to be here. We will see you next time. I'm going to send you out on everything that's coming this fall. We got a bunch of shows coming. Nate, I got to redo this video to put your thing in there, but I'll talk to you about this. All right. Peace, everybody.
Everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
We are back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. The lion. New man, so fine. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am